Hey everybody, Bob Babbitt here. This is Breakfast with Bob. We are brought to you by Velofix Polar UCAN Active, Premium Plus Sports Travel, Hotel West End. We're in beautiful Nice, France. Our next guest, Mr. Josh Amberger. How about a round of applause for our guys? They love you, as well they should. So Josh, you've been training a little bit with our guy Cam Wurf. What's that like?
Yeah, Bob. I made the trip up to Andorra, pretty much in preparation for this race, really.
Right, working on the cycling a little bit.
Yeah, so I was training most of the summer in Bend, Oregon, which has some climbs, but not real technical climbs. So I was looking for a place to train specifically for this race, and pretty much all you can do in Andorra is climbing. There's no flat at all, so you got to go down into Spain, and that's a bit of a trip. So. So I went to Andorra to train with Cam specifically for this race, climbs, descents, but also I always kind of like to train with people that are better than myself. So Cam's obviously the best
professional cyclist, best cyclist in the world. Better in the sport.
So it's been really good for a broader skill set as well.
And I know now, didn't he also want to swim with you to work on his swim?
Yeah, so we did a bit of swimming together, not a great deal, because he was doing like 4K time trials, 5K time trials, just real actually crazy stuff that I was more interested in my shorter intervals and stuff that I was more used to. So yeah,
it seems like he would sort of want to do what you're doing since you're the best swimmer in the sport.
Yeah, no, he's very focused on his agenda. He's got a swim coach that he really trusts in, and he was there actually for a bit, so he actually gave me some pointers on my swim, which I was which I was quite thankful for.
Were they helpful?
Yeah, definitely. My swimming's not perfect. I've got some technical stuff that I can work on. So yeah,
you can work on that while you're out of the water on the bike, and everybody else is still trying to catch you. You know, that's a different gig.
Yeah.
So when you come into a race like this, is the focus Kona or is the focus here?
You know, I hadn't actually even qualified for Kona until less than 2 months ago in mid-July in Ironman Vitoria-Gasteiz over in Spain. So I tried to qualify earlier in the year in Ironman South Africa. I was the first one to miss out, and I wanted to give it one more shot, and I hadn't actually obviously committed to Kona unless I qualified.
Right.
So I'd already qualified for this. I really, really love the course. So my goal for the season has primarily been for this race.
Here.
And I've been doing like a little bit of Ironman training. It's kind of unavoidable when you're with Cam Wurf to do some Ironman training. So I'll head home back to Australia the day after the race on Monday and start the prep for Kona. But yeah, I've particularly prepared for this race.
And that might be a little better, right? Because you don't have those real long miles in your legs. The fact that you've been focusing on this. Yeah,
and all my Ironman preparations have been different. I've only raced Kona twice before. Last year I carried an injury into the race, and that was certainly an overtraining injury.
Yeah.
So for me, I've had the best preparation I have had for a race all year. I haven't had any injuries or niggles for a couple of months now, which is actually
a change of pace.
Been really good. So I'm coming into the Kona prep fresh, actually, I think. So.
And 70.3 is a good distance for you. You've won at least 10 of these things.
Yeah, I think it's about 10. It's actually, I've done some 70.3s in Europe, and the courses have always been kind of similar to this. A lot of climbing, I kind of, having done those races here in Europe before and being a lighter athlete, I know that it suits me.
Yes.
I mean, I can kind of go a lot more over my threshold on climbs than I can on flats, trying to keep up with some of the quicker cyclists. So, yeah.
How did you end up getting into triathlon? I mean, obviously you were swimming when you were younger, and then decided to maybe give up the black line for a little bit and try. Yeah.
So probably not many people know this, but Jan Frodeno always talks about his swim coach, JR, and he actually recently had a heart surgery, and so he's come good after that. He's almost 80 now, so he's like a a well-known name in swimming in Australia. So I swam with JR from when I was 10 years old, more or less. So he was my first swim coach. He obviously taught me to swim first before he taught Jan how to swim.
Yes.
So
basically you taught Jan how to swim.
I'm holding some things back, obviously. So JR, he was the one who actually got me into triathlon because he was a triathlete himself. So I kind of hit an age where I was swimming about 13 and 14 where I was like really struggling with my performance because I wasn't growing at the pace of all the other swimmers. All of a sudden there's like man-childs and
they're
stuff.
Like 6'6". They're gigantic.
So JR helped me actually transition from swimming to triathlon, even though he was my swim coach.
Yeah.
So, that obviously progressed to a professional career in the sport. So
it's pretty interesting because you don't think about the swimmers and how big they are, but they are, right? And that makes a huge difference, right? You're swimming against a guy who's 6'6", and if he's anywhere close to you, he's going to out-touch you every time.
Yeah, of course. And just the, power. I mean,
right.
Yeah, they get so much more power through the water. It's incredible.
What have you from riding with Cam? Has he helped you with anything in particular in terms of climbing, descending?
Yeah, everything really. I'm just behind all the time. So.
And you're used to lead. Usually, you're out and leading these races.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I've trained with a bunch of other guys before Sebastian.
Yes.
For an extended period of time, and Sebastian's training a lot of his really short power. Style of training, but Cam's doing really long extended climbs, and in Andorra when you're doing a climb full gas it's still taking 30 minutes or so.
Wow.
So we were doing a number of long threshold efforts, and we'd go down into Spain and TT. Some of our audience actually saw us in Spain last week TTing, which was pretty cool. It's just kind of good to get an idea where you sit behind the best cyclists in the sport, not in a race environment.
Right.
So I rode with Cam last year in Kona for about 3 hours before I got popped.
Yeah.
And last week in the TT I lasted about 15 minutes. So it's very, very interesting to see, perhaps how much he is actually holding back in the race to assist his run. I'll use that kind of experience to gauge my effort in Kona this year.
Well, and you think about Kona, if you're it doesn't really help you to be that far off the front in the swim, right? Because you're by yourself while other guys are riding together.
Yeah. So
you want to be at the front, but you don't necessarily. I remember Andy Potts, he led the swim every year, and he's like, why am I leading the swim?
Yeah.
It's sort of a waste to be riding against the wind by myself when I could be sharing the work effort.
Yeah, it's funny though, because last year I consciously slowed my swim down in Kona to try and pull some people.
We've all done that. Most of us usually do that. We hold back.
So the idea was to allow some people to stay on my feet so I could have a group around me once we got on the bike, because the previous year in 17, I had the 2-minute lead or whatever it was out of the water, and then I didn't get caught till an hour on the bike, and by then I was already a bit toast. So, but we got onto the bike, and I had 6 or 7 people around me, and we all kind of looked at each other, and I was kind of looking at them going, hey guys, I've done my bit,
How about a little effort here?
And it was kind of like a waste of time because no one was really wanting to commit to riding hard at all, and we got caught really quickly. So Cam and Starkey rode past us by the time we got to the airport or something.
Oh my God, that's way too early.
Yeah.
So is the idea this year potentially you come out of the water and Cam's getting a little better with his swim, and maybe the two of you could put a little gap on everybody?
That'd be a dream scenario. 2 Aussies going down the road. That'd be pretty cool. Time to take it back from the Germans, I reckon.
I guess so. Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things. You always have to assess how it's going in the race, and I'm very much like that. I can adapt to racing in the moment. So I try not to let myself get bogged down with plans and so forth before the race, and just kind of see how I feel. If I'm feeling good in the swim, maybe I'll take a jab at the record or something like this. And
Yeah.
I don't know. You just kind of have to see how it's going in the race.
So when you came to Kona for the first time, and you're on the Queen Highway, this real famous place, and you're leading the race, how special was that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was kind of. I remember Macca talking about his first time he won Kona, and he said he started the run with a lead, and he told his dad to bank the check, and he thought he had it all.
Oh yeah, he basically, Dad, I'll be back in 2.5 hours, and yeah.
I wasn't, of course, thinking about that, but it was just like, I'm at the front of this race, and I can't see anyone around me. I had Eric Gilson in there on the bike giving me splits, and I said, where are all these guys? And he's like, they're nowhere. I'm kind of like, how good's this? Like,
yeah,
I did not expect this at all, and that ended quickly, and
So when he said they're way back there, is how he defined way back there.
Yeah.
They weren't that far back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
But the experience you had from leading that race, that I'm guessing that makes you want more of that.
Oh yeah, of course. But at the same time, like, I know it's impossible to win this race from the front the whole day.
Right.
Well, not this race in Nice, but in Kona.
Yeah.
So, it's great to be at the front of the race, but yeah, you really want to be at the front by the time you hit the end
marathon.
of the energy lap.
Yeah. You want to be running. And do you feel that that's where you're heading? Do you feel that your running is at the point now that if you're going to get off the bike with whoever else is there or by yourself, and you can hold your own in the marathon?
Yeah, I think as the seasons go by, I'm becoming a more confident runner. This year I've had some really good half marathon performances in the 70.3, so I've been really happy to see that progression. Haven't really seen that jump in the marathon yet, but I still feel I'm pretty new at Ironman, and my style of racing is it's always all in on the bike as well, so I don't really give myself much of a chance for the marathon, but I feel that's coming as I mature a bit more and learn to be a bit more patient in the races and be able to read races and my competition differently. So, yeah, I think the quicker marathon times are going to...
They're to come.
Yeah, I think they're coming.
They're coming. I love it. And we'll see that for Cam, too. Cam's running well.
Yeah, he's running insanely well, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun to watch Kona this year.
Yeah.
But you're excited about this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
And you, with this type of the downhills, you're because of all the training you've done in here, or not here, but in France, you're ready for it.
Yeah. So I checked the course out yesterday and rode the downhills pretty hard, and I'm thankful it's not as steep as in Andorra. If you're kind of like overcooking a corner in Andorra, you'll
die.
Yeah, pretty much. So here you can kind of with my disc brakes, I can kind of adjust going through the corners. So you can ride it pretty hard, and I know that there's so many athletes here that are going to be riding hard on the bike. The Germans, Ben Canute,
yes,
these guys. So
Bobby Gomez, Alistair Brownlee. Yeah, it's a Hall of Fame list.
Yeah, everyone's going to be absolutely pinning it, and the descents are going to be interesting because it's you don't know how other guys are riding in the descents, and you don't know if you're going to be hanging on for dear life and taking risks or feeling really comfortable and pushing it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And downhills are always weird. If you're by yourself, you can just cut the line. But if there's 4 or 5 guys there, you sort of ride it differently. And being by yourself is sort of an advantage.
Yeah, we had an interesting conversation in race briefing yesterday actually about cutting tangents. So there definitely is a centre line rule here in place. And,
okay.
But yeah, sometimes there's not a centre line. So
if there's no centre line, you can do whatever you want.
So we'll see how everyone's riding it. But yeah, we've been told we have to keep to the right of the road at all times. So
yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Love it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for Mr. Josh Amberger? Again, Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.